All right, today we are tackling a skill that's not just about acing exams, but about thinking clearly in a world that's, full of complicated issues. We are going to unlock the blueprint for writing a powerful, balanced essay piece by piece. So, let's dive right in.
Have you ever been in that spot? Maybe it's an exam, or maybe it's just a debate with a friend, where the goal isn't to win, but just to show that you get the whole picture, that you can see an issue from all sides?
Well, guess what? There's actually a formula for that exact situation. It's a really powerful tool, and it's called the Balanced Opinion Essay. And it is designed for precisely this kind of clear, objective thinking.
And that is our mission right now. We're not just going to talk about what it is. We are literally going to hand you the complete blueprint to build one of these essays from scratch, step by step.
So before we can start building, we got to lay the foundation, right? We need to be super clear on what exactly is a balanced essay.
Okay, so at its heart, it's an essay that lays out both sides of an issue in a really fair and objective way. You might also hear it called a discursive essay. But the key word here is right in the name, balanced. You discuss the good, you discuss the bad, and only then, right at the very end, do you finally give your own take.
And listen, this is probably the biggest mental shift you have to make. Your goal here is not to persuade the reader that you're right. No way. It's to show them that you've thought things through, that you've considered all the different angles. This isn't about winning a debate. It's about proving you truly understand it.
So why should you even bother mastering this? Well, on a practical level, you're going to see this all over B2 and C1 level exams. And it's a huge part of academic writing. But honestly, it's more than that. This is a life skill. It's like a workout for your brain that trains you to think with way more clarity and objectivity, no matter the situation.
All right, foundation is laid. Now for the fun part, the blueprint itself. Let's look at the essential structure. It's actually beautifully simple, but it is so effective.
Every single balanced essay is built with these 4 key paragraphs. That's it. First up, you have an introduction to set the scene. Then, a body paragraph that argues for side A, followed by another body paragraph that argues for the total opposite, side B, and you wrap it all up with a conclusion where you summarize everything and finally give your opinion. Simple, logical, and really powerful.
Now that we have the big picture blueprint, let's zoom in a little. Let's figure out how to assemble each of these pieces so you end up with a really strong, coherent argument.
Your intro has one main job: set the stage without giving the game away. You're going to start with a broad statement about the topic, mention that, hey, there are a couple different ways to look at this, and then say that this essay will discuss both sides. But here's the golden rule, the most important part. You absolutely cannot give your own opinion here. Not yet. It has to wait.
This slide really shows the beautiful symmetry of the whole thing. Your first body paragraph makes the case for side A. You start with a clear topic sentence, and you back it up with a few examples. Then, for side B, you do the exact same thing. It's a mirror image. The trick is to kick it off with a contrast phrase like, on the other hand. That little phrase is like a signpost telling your reader, okay, now we're looking at the other side. It's that pivot that creates the balance.
And at last, we get to the conclusion. Your first task here is to quickly sum up the main arguments from both sides. And it's super important not to bring in any new ideas here. After you've shown that you've weighed everything fairly, then you can step into the spotlight. This is your moment. You get to state your own opinion using a clear phrase like, on balance, I believe that.
So you've got the structure, but to make it all flow and sound really professional, you need the right tools for the job. Think of this next part as your professional toolkit, a phrasebook full of the essential language to connect all your ideas.
When you're introducing an argument or just trying to add a little more weight to a point, these phrases are your best friends. Using words like furthermore or moreover just makes your writing sound more sophisticated, and it helps guide the reader through your thinking. And of course, always back up your points with some solid examples using phrases like, for instance.
Now, these phrases for introducing a counterargument, these are your pivot points. They signal that critical shift from one side to the other. And the concluding phrases are like a big signpost, telling the reader you've looked at all the evidence and you're ready to give your final verdict. Mastering these phrases is what takes an essay from just being good to being truly great.
Okay, theory's great and all, but practice is where it really clicks. So let's do a quick-fire test and see how these phrases work in the real world. You ready?
All right, think about social media for a second. How would you connect these two opposing ideas? On one side, it brings people closer. On the other, it can harm mental health. What words would you slot in there to create that perfect balance?
A great combo would be something like, some people argue that to introduce that first point, and then, on the other hand, to bring in the counterargument. See how clean that is? It perfectly sets up both sides of the debate.
Okay, one more for you. Imagine you've just written 2 amazing paragraphs about the pros and cons of technology. Now you want to give your final opinion. What phrase could you use to signal to the reader, okay, here's my final take on all this?
Yep, exactly. A phrase like on balance or in conclusion is the perfect signal. It tells your reader, after looking at everything, this is where I stand. It's the final piece of the puzzle. And just like that, there you have it. We've gone from the big idea to the structure to the exact language that ties it all together. You now have the blueprint. You're officially equipped to build a compelling, balanced argument.
I want to leave you with this one thought, because a balanced essay is so much more than just a technique for an exam. It's a mindset. It reminds us that the best arguments aren't always about winning. They're about the much deeper and way more valuable goal of actually understanding.
So the only question left is, with this brand new blueprint in your hands, what complex topic are you going to choose to explore and understand first?